So, good morning. So, this morning we're going to look at an element of tort law. So, do you remember from the first week we looked at the different types of tort? Yes. So, first of all, what's the verb for torts? We are torts. What's the verb? It's the same with a crime.
Commit.
Yeah, so commits a tort. Can you remember the different types of tort?
Negligence. Nuisance. Trespass.
Defamation.
Good. So we've got two types of defamation, haven't we? Remember the two types of defamation?
Yes.
So there's one which is spoken and one which is written. So two types.
Injury.
So we've got slander. Which one's that? Is that spoken or written? Spoken, yeah. So if you remember the S, yeah, S for spoken. So slander. And the other one? Here's an L. Libel. Okay. And then we've got one more type of torts. The one to do with intellectual property when you haven't registered the rights. Yeah, that's when you break intellectual property law, but it's a specific type which comes under torts. It's got two words and begins with P. Yes. Good, yeah. That was the one we talked about in connection with Rihanna. Do you remember Rihanna and Topshop? Yes. When they used her image on their t-shirts? Yeah. Okay. So, a couple of words connected with tort. So, the person who commits a tort. Any ideas? Close. Called a tortfeasor. I love this word. So this is a person who commits a tort, and so a tortious act is an act which is against tort. So how can we define tort again? What is tort? What's the definition? Good, yeah. So, there's one more element to it as well. So it's a civil wrong.
Without contract.
Good. Good. So outside of contracts. So this morning we're going to look at negligence, the first one, which is the most common type of torts. So I'd like you, just with your partner, so Laura, if you just work together with Naomi for a minute, and Enrica with Monique, and just, my question is, what is it? And if you are accused of being negligent, what have you done? What are the elements of negligence that make you negligent? Of something, okay? So just quickly with your partner, just a minute, how would you define it and what are the elements of it?
you don't expect something to happen, but you
Really?
assume the responsibility of...
Do you have a question, Monique?
No,
Okay.
So,
it's like you don't expect behavior, but some of your prejudice and between your behavior and it's not probably your
it's not a fault. It's
your
something
actions
you
will
had
affect
to do, but
another
you didn't do it
So if like if there is
because
some
you didn't do
hormone
that thing,
pregnancy,
particular
so
thing.
negligence.
Yeah,
So
something
you
like
were
that.
able to renew
Yeah.
normality. You were
Yeah.
able to answer the problem to do the thing.
Yeah.
So he was
Talk
like
with
the
them.
job.
Talk
Yes,
with them.
it's because I don't know the difference
Yeah.
between.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about the difference between the negligence and the nuisance.
Okay. Can you help?
In
Negligence is like when you when someone expected from you a particular behavior, okay, and you don't do something. So because of this, someone has a talk. I don't know, and it's not
Someone
correct.
is hurt.
Is hurt,
For
yeah.
example.
Is hurt.
Yeah.
so it's
Yeah, and there is a link between your behavior and the result. Yeah.
Mhm.
I gave the example.
Hello.
Good morning. Sorry. How can I? Yeah. I gave the example of a doctor
Mhm.
that is drunk, and so he was in the hospital, and it came this pregnant woman, and he wasn't able to do his job perfectly because.
Yeah. Exactly.
So,
Yeah. So would that come under a tort in that case? So is that civil anymore? No. So that's. We also have criminal negligence as well, so that will come under a crime. But absolutely, yeah, that happens quite a lot. This sort of professional negligence with doctors, etc. And nuisance, because that was your question, wasn't it? Between the two, negligence and nuisance.
You can't enjoy something because of the behavior of the other person. Most of the time in property.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
So we had last week we had a case study.
yes, with your neighbor, if they do too much noise, or if a restaurant open just near to your home and you have a huge smell, you know, if you can't enjoy your property normally, it's specific reasons. Negligence is more general.
Yeah. Yeah, but that was your definition, Leonie. Yeah. So it's to fail to do something. There's another word for fail that we had last week as well, beginning with N. It was in the letter writing. To neglect, fail or neglect to do something. That you don't do something that you are supposed to do. Okay, so if, in terms of just vocabulary, negligence, so if you fail to do something, then you can be found liable. If you take the word negligence and change it, so
Negligence.
And to be found liable for
Negligence.
So with negligence as a tort, do you intend to do something, or is it usually down to not doing it? Does it involve intention?
Oh,
Good.
no.
Yes.
For a mistake, like sort of mistake.
Exactly, yeah. So generally negligence is, what's the adjective from intend? So you don't intend to do it, it is change, intend. Unintentional, yes. So unintentional. It's more because you're careless, for example. Yeah, so it's generally unintentional. So that creates the difference then, doesn't it, between the civil and the criminal negligence, do you think? What would the difference be?
The result? No, the result is...
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we've got negligence as a tort, and then we've got criminal negligence. What about a company? Because a company can also be...
But it's just an environment, but
No, also we do not with employment. So.
Mm-hmm.
And in criminal way.
Yeah. So for example, what could happen?
If most of the time is when you want to build something,
Mhm.
a building, for example, and
Mm-hmm.
the company doesn't respect the security rule, and an employee, for example, falls,
Yes.
and die. So
Mhm.
it's an international.
Yeah. We call it, for a company, we call it corporate manslaughter. Yeah. Yeah. So we have got, let's put this separately, so we've got criminal negligence. So, as you said, Monique, for example, a doctor, yeah, that would be to be found guilty of criminal negligence. But we've also got, with companies, we call it corporate manslaughter. So, in this particular case, when we were talking about company law, we said we have the company becomes what kind of person? The legal person, and the other type of company, for example, sole trader, that's not a legal person, it's a, remember the word? Yeah, natural person. So we've got the legal person and the natural person. And in terms of insolvency, the legal person stays a legal person. How about in this event? Do you think
you can go after the natural person?
Yes.
Yeah, but also if it's the company, the legal person then becomes a natural person, so you can prosecute.
The
in that case.
administrator.
Yeah. Okay. Right. In your books, on page 97. We've got the conditions that you need in order to be successful when you sue for negligence. It's 97. Leonie.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. So 3 conditions. The first one is what we call a duty of care to your neighbour. That is anyone who might reasonably be affected by your acts or omissions. Do you know where the expression neighbour comes from? why we use the word neighbour?
It's like close to you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Originally it comes from the Bible. In the Bible it says, love thy neighbour. That's where it comes from, apparently, in our law anyway. So, yeah, anyone, it's anyone close to you, or anyone actually, isn't it? Because when they say love thy neighbour, they mean love everyone. Yeah. So, just duty of care to anyone who might be reasonably affected by your acts or omissions. So the first one is there must be a duty of care. The second one is there must be a breach of that duty. And the third is the consequence that you were saying, Monique. So a loss or injury resulting from a breach of duty of care. So there's three things, those three elements must be present. So there are three situations there, A, B, and C. You need to decide if there's a case in negligence. So could you sue these people for negligence? Is there a case? Is there a duty of care? Is the injured party owed that? Has it been breached? Has there been some kind of loss? So let's just look through them just to see if there are any words, any vocabulary that you're not sure about. So James Hartley has broken into a house while the owners are on holiday. So what kind of crime is that?
Trespass.
Okay, trespass, yeah. Also, if you break... Yeah, if you break into someone's house and you're planning to steal something, that's more a shop or a bank. But if it's a house, that's a shop or a bank. Begins with B. Yeah, there we go, burglary. So yeah, he is essentially a burglar. While going upstairs, he slips on some loose carpet and fractures his leg. Okay. Vocabulary okay? Okay. Then B, coming down the stairs of the public library owned by Low Peak Borough Council, Mary Goodwin slips. She reaches for the stair rail, which gives way, and Mary sustains a broken leg. The stair rail?
It's the thing you handle for not fall.
Exactly, yes. As you're going down the stairs, you hold on the stair rail. And to sustain a broken leg just means to...
Her leg wasn't work.
Her leg breaks. Yeah, so to sustain an injury means to get an injury. Yeah, so she has, as a result, she has a broken leg. And C, Sheila Prince is driving down the high street. She is a very careful driver, and her speed is 19 miles per hour. Just so you know, in the UK, do you know what the speed limit is on a high street? It's usually about 20. So it's usually about 20 miles per hour. Okay, so she's not speeding. Unfortunately, the car skids on a patch of oil, and a pedestrian, Rachel Martin, is injured. Okay, skid. Yeah. Exactly. Okay. So with your partner, you need to do something. Sorry.
What is patch? Patch of oil?
Patch of oil is.
Okay.
Yeah. Some oil on the street. Yes. So, are the three conditions here to sue for negligence successfully? Okay. So, is there a duty of care? Is it breached? And is there loss or injury as a result? Okay. So, together with your partner, so Leonie, if you work together with Monique.
Okay. This one. This technique.
They have care. What about the breach of duty? They can.
Because they can issue.
She thinks that she handled the stair. It's impossible to hold up. She fell down. So there was something like something was broken. Something like that. We don't know this.
Yeah, maybe I need with this information. I don't see how you There's no.
It's okay.
They don't say there's any like a pistol. You see? Oh, which keeps.
Which keeps away so he broke.
What is this?
She's
She was looking for this area, which keeps away. What is the name? Which keeps away?
Yeah.
Also, yes.
For this,
Yes,
there is.
you can because
Yeah.
yes. So the duty of care is the peak comes soon. It's the public duty of care.
You told me that it was
And they breach because they didn't.
it's only
They didn't prepare. Yes, the momentum Okay, so the last in Jewish was that she broke the. Now Sheila brings or the guys.
Just about
No, there's no. No, because she was.
Yes, for
the limit is big, but it wasn't her fault. It was the fault of this oil.
Yeah.
It was in the floor and she maybe she could
Sue.
the who
Yeah, if you find it.
yes, if you find the person who let this oil, so you can sue him. But the person who was injured cannot sue Sheila.
the owner.
She can actually she can sue
That's why
the public service
now we have
because
to
they didn't
clean the street.
didn't clean the street,
Yeah.
but not she.
That you have to put, I don't know, barrier
Okay, so
around the swimming pool.
do you want to just tell each other what you decided about the first one?
Hello.
James Hartley. What did you decide about James Hartley in the first case? What was your decision on
There's no place for swimming.
that? So there's no case?
No,
you think there's no
there's no
case? Okay, so can you go through the three conditions and if those three conditions are met or not?
Okay.
In the first case, we don't have
Duty of care
Yes.
to a burglar. Okay.
Yes, because he was trying to steal the house, so the family has no duty of care in this case. By not having the duty of care, you cannot have a breach of it. So his loss and injury cannot be cannot responsible.
It can't be responsible.
Yes.
liable.
Can't be. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
There is a case in France that a burglar entered in a house and fell in the swimming pool and broke something. I don't know exactly what's the part of his body, and he sued the owner of the property.
Okay.
And I think he won. I have to check, but I think he won. And so now we have the duty to put, I don't know the word, in
To
front
cover.
fence, to put fences
Okay.
around the swimming pool,
Mhm.
even if it's ugly and in the particular property or individual property. So in the south we didn't really apply this law because it's really ugly, but we have the duty now to do this. So maybe, I don't know, but maybe,
You have a case.
yeah.
I don't agree, but
Absolutely, yeah, there is a precedent now, certainly. It's interesting because when I was looking through this, I was interested because I'd heard something like that, and I looked up, and in the UK we have this Occupiers Liability Act in 1984, which before 1984 there was no responsibility on the part of the owner to either put a fence around something that's dangerous. But this act extends the duty of care to trespassers as well as visitors.
This was not a visitor.
Trespasser and visitors.
And
so that's basically that case that you were talking about. So that's also the same in the UK.
So I have to take care about maybe someone.
Yeah.
When you build your house, just make sure everything is okay for the
and visitors.
It was something to eat for them.
Because you know, for example, there's. I was just thinking that it's similar to your example, but if a child, for example, is playing football and they kick their football into a factory. And they go to get the ball, and then as a result they have an accident, so they fall down a hole, for example. I think you have to put signs near anywhere that could be dangerous. If there's a hole, for example, you have to put up health and safety notices.
I cannot imagine a situation that a friend of mine, a visitor in my house, can sue me for negligence because he injured his...
in Italy we have a lot of this.
Really?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you have friends and you invite someone to come to your house.
When there are money, there are no friends.
Oh, wait, you have
You
your
don't care about
I
your friend.
think that the main importance for the state is to protect individuals. So if an individual is injured, the principle is that you have to receive compensation. But I agree, it's really it's unfair for the owner, for example, for the swimming pool, but maybe
Okay.
And maybe
This kid is very cute. But how do you know this case? I mean, how did he explain that he was in someone else's house? And I mean, the judge can decide about the compensation or something about the negligence, but also I think it's his duty after seeing that this injured person was still in the house. I think the judge should
open a crime.
A crime investigation of him.
Yeah, but it's very interesting. Just a quick point. So you said the burglar went in the house to steal the house.
Not sure.
That would be to take the whole house and move it.
Oh, okay.
To rob. Good.
Rob.
Yeah.
Like a robber.
Yeah, to rob the house, meaning to steal things in the house. But he went into the house to rob the house or to steal goods, for example. Yes.
To steal what?
Goods. Yeah. Goods, valuable items, for example. Okay.
So this one, it's like.
Yeah, it's a little bit.
I think
I think it depends on the jurisdiction, but we do have this act, which also extends protection to trespassers as well as visitors.